Hello, friends. James Stevenson and Loki back with your weekly exclusive subscribers only series, James and Loki's Gems of the Week, the show, in which Loki and I walk through all the posts we liked over the previous week and talk about why we liked them. Loki seems bedded down pretty well there. Maybe he'll move around if he does. You can keep an eye on what he's up to in the Loki cam as I turn my attention to every post that I liked on X last week, starting with the last one we saw in last week's episode from January 31st. Let's scroll up and see what else. Well, here's one from February 2nd from the Short Shorts historian, This Day in Tesla Q History. Didn't go as planned. Stanfield Cap 3 years ago, this is Mark B. Spiegel, who's been hating hard on Tesla longer than nearly anybody else has. VW to boost Chinese EV capacity by 1 million by 2023. So considerably more than hashtag Tesla, he said on February 2nd, 2022. Yeah, VW deliveries drop on China slump and EV struggles. Yeah, they are nowhere close to the goals that they laid out for themselves. I sent some posts about that myself. I feel like not that long ago, people were just projecting that VW would be selling way more than 1 million vehicles by now, and Tesla would still be selling 500,000 per year if they were lucky. Here's the next post I liked from Nick Cruz Patane. This is amazing. Actually smart summoning into the garage. A braver person than I don't think I would have let my Tesla just charge right into my brick garage as this Tesla owner did, but happy to see everything worked out well for them. Tesla's going to need to solve for problems like this without any collisions occurring, and it looks like maybe it's been done already. A good sign, anyway, that this Tesla made it on actually smart summon right into the garage. Here's one from Robert Belgrad, who I've never seen before, at Metal Vistas. So they must have done something good to have gotten a like from me. Replying to Wired, Elon Musk and his lackeys. Let's get the context here. Wired said, if you've been wondering what Elon Musk and his lackeys are up to since taking control of the US government, look no further. Our latest story names 6 19 to 24-year-olds working with his DOGE organization, which now has access to sensitive federal systems. All right. Tell me you are negatively biased in the first sentence without telling me you are negatively biased in the first sentence. Already did, sir. Yeah. Elon Musk and his lackeys didn't even get halfway through the first sentence without letting us know it was a hit piece. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt. This is the software Jeep is shipping in their brand new $75,000 all-electric Wagoneer SEV. It's like they're stuck in 2015. Look at this software.
The lag.
So, yeah.
Well, Andreas, you're a software guy.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't want to hear me comment on that.
Okay, first of all, why is the keyboard here? What's going on? This looks like a mess. It's like blocking things.
Yeah.
So to me, this wins the award for the worst infotainment.
So yeah, the Uconnect 5, according to Jeep's actual website, says award-winning, and I'm just really curious who gave the award and how can I find them?
And how can we kill them? Winning you can.
Yeah, award-winning software. I don't know. That doesn't look like it should have won any positive awards. Maybe a last runner-up award. Here's one from Wes at W Moral 3, Cybertrucks in the rain. Just take a minute and soak in the grandeur of this photo. What a well-composed shot. Like, you could easily get an A in your photojournalism course submitting this photo if you took it. That's good stuff. That's how to line up a photograph. Good stuff. Here's one from Michael Cusick that I liked. His handle on X is at Chess for Giants. Chargers are always the sorest of losers. So here's a charger getting smoked by a Tesla. Sorry, I'm laughing over the the video clip. But the Charger passes the Tesla. The Tesla owner is not happy about it. Passes that Charger back, and the Charger was an unmarked police car that pulled them over for speeding. That's what's going on there. Funny stuff. All right. Here's one from Elon Clips at Elon Clips X. Solving government overspending will really affect people's lives. The checks never bounce for the federal government, so the federal government can always make more money. Not make more money by earning it, make more money by creating it, by presto changeo, summoning new dollar bills into being. That's literally what happens at the Treasury. They create new dollars there. That's where dollars are born. It's government spending that creates inflation. So when you see prices go up at the grocery store, it's because the government spent more money than it brought in taxes, increased the money supply, diluted the value of money relative to real goods, and made your paycheck be less valuable. It's just very important to connect these dots because people think maybe the supermarket's taking advantage of them, and they're not. You can look at the financials of the supermarkets. They have single-digit margins. Maybe it's not 2%, but supermarkets famously have very low profit margins, no matter how well run they are. So it's got nothing to do with price gouging by the supermarkets. It's just that the government spent too much. But the good news is, if we solve government overspending and the money supply grows at the same rate as the output of real goods and services, aka the economy, aka GDP, there will be no inflation. You need the government to not grow its spending faster than GDP grows. Milton Friedman has explained this a lot of times. And the prices in the supermarket now will be the same as the prices in the supermarket in a year. That's a super big deal. That really affects people's lives. That's what we're aiming for. We're going to do everything possible to succeed in that goal, said Elon Musk during his DOGE update on X Spaces on February 3rd, 2025. If you missed that, and you can hear Elon say it in his own words with this video that I should have just played for you instead of narrating it myself. I forgot. It was there. Here's another one from Elon. Time to confess, media reports saying that DOGE has some of the world's best software engineers are in fact true. Yeah, Elon Musk is able to attract and retain the best software engineers in the world. They do want to go to work for him. Who better to learn from than Elon Musk, right? Nick Cruz-Patane, cybercab testing at Giga Texas. No white wall tires. No, these are the big gold Pan disc wheel covers on here. So if you want to have the best range you can get in your car, put Pan solid wheel covers over your wheels, and that'll prevent air from getting in there and getting all chopped up by the wheels, creating drag against your car. If you want that air to slip easily past your car without making contact with your car parts, you do that. You put a solid cover over it. And the problem is your brakes will overheat if you do that on a regular car because they need air getting pushed around inside the wheel to keep the discs on the brakes from getting way too hot from contacting the wheel. Or the pads, the brake pads need to be able to cool down. But on your EV, what you're going to be doing most of is using regenerative braking, especially if you're in an urban city environment. If your car doesn't leave the city very often, then you're not going to be at those high speeds braking down to zero all that often. And at low speeds, you can use regenerative braking to stop you without needing to apply the brakes at all. So advantages Tesla can take advantage of that other companies can't with their models. Here's one from Holmar's catalog at Holmar's blog. The government taking money out of your paycheck and wasting it is bad. That's that has somehow become a controversial viewpoint this year. You got to wonder, who are the people pushing the other side of this argument, and how desperate are they? Next is a post from Tesla. In space, no one can hear you clean. This photo does look like an alien movie, a sci-fi film, is what this looks like, especially with the black shiny hoses on here. You saw a lot of these in Ridley Scott films and James Cameron films with sci-fi monsters on alien dreadnought spaceships. Here's one from Elon. At least Milton had the decency to show up at the office, replying to Walter Kurt. LOL, federal employees have rallied behind their new symbol of resistance, the red stapler. Feds, do not give in, do not give up, do not resign, an official wrote on the popular Fed News subreddit. Good luck, boys. I'm sure the software engineers from DOGE care. Oh, it looks a little communist in this poster. Maybe that was the intention somebody put together. This is just Milton's red swing line stapler from the film Office Space. If you haven't seen Office Space, go watch that right now. Pause my video and come back to it later after you've watched Office Space. Classic comedy film. Here's one from Matt Smith. Hard to believe it's been 5 years since the world got this absolute gem of a tweet from Tesla Charts, which I will not read, but I was happy to see somebody mark the occasion. Here's one from Micro to Macro that I liked. Macro with a 0 at the end of the handle. Can I please get some help from the Tesla community? We just had a light show for Forrest, who is 7 years old and currently fighting cancer. It would be amazing if we could get Elon Musk to take a second out of his busy day, literally saving the world, and say hi to the little dude. So if you could like, share, and comment below, it would be very much appreciated. With a Cybertruck, an all Cybertruck light show. So what a heartwarming post that was to see. Happy to have retweeted that one for Micro to Macro. He got almost 500,000 views on that post. All right. Here's one from Dr. Livingstone at Tinus Lassen. Probably pronounced that wrong. Tinus Lassen, maybe. Hot Joseph. I don't know what Hot Joseph means. Let's check the thread for context. I just said dope or nope when I was at the grocery store. I spotted this Cybertruck. How could you not spot it? The color that it is, and walked over and framed up this other Cybertruck in the background that nobody commented on in the replies at all, even though it seems very obvious there as a parallel to this one. So there's your factory edition Cybertruck, and here's this wrap. Not my cup of tea, said Joseph Tesla Long at Shrimp Tesla Long. I like mine better. Hot Joseph. This one, that's a really cool wrap, I think. Like, that's also not one that I'm going to be driving around in, but it looks cool. It looks cool. It looks smoking hot. So I'll back out of here and keep going. Here's one from Andrea S. James. Gently, softly, calmly, let's talk about what's happening in DC right now. I realize that there are too many political posts in this video already, and I went out of my way to not like a lot of them this week. The note here from Andrea is talking about how it's a good idea to do a zero-based budget, where you have to justify every single expenditure that a company makes as being related to accomplishing the mission of that organization. It's a good idea to do. A lot of companies do it every so often, every few years, just to make sure there isn't scope creep, to make sure there isn't, well, that's not exactly the right term, just to make sure people aren't getting in the habit of authorizing spending on stuff that isn't a priority for your board of directors or for your CEO to be investing money in, right? Is there a smarter way we can do this? Are there ways we can share resources between teams and not all have to do this buying? Questions like that come up and are solved during zero-based budget review meetings. And Andrea S. James is saying it's been 250 years since our country has done a zero-based budget. Maybe we should do one. That's an idea. Here's one from SETI Park at SETI_Park. Tesla's patent on the dry electrode with lithium metal is just granted. If this is something you know a lot about, leave comments below explaining it to others, because I don't know a lot about that. Here's one from Alexandra Mertz. It sounded good, so I clicked like on it. I don't imagine Tesla would be working on things that have no upside benefit potential to them. So what I expect to hear is, yeah, Tesla's working on future batteries to be smarter than the batteries they're using today. Here's one from Alexandra Mertz at Tesla Boomer Mama. Delaware Supreme Court reversing the TripAdvisor Chancery Court judgment. Yes, 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 this is good news. Little Jeff Goldblum for you in the post from Alexandra Mertz. Yes, yes, yes. And another blow to Vice Chancellor Travis Laster. So I guess this is the other out-of-control Delaware state judge besides Kathleen St. Jude McCormick getting their dumb decisions appealed up to the Delaware Supreme Court, where common sense seems to still be prevailing in Delaware. So good news from Alexandra. You can read all about that at this post if it's of interest to you. Here's one from Tom Renz at Renz Tom. DOGE, a lawyer's perspective on the Elon Musk policy centerpiece. So there's a lot of information here in a long thread that I liked and that you can read through. 68,000 other people liked it along with me. So if you really want to, you can pause as I hit each of these posts in the thread and read them. And then you'll know why I clicked like on that. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt. News, Ford lost about $37,000 per EV sold in Q4 2024. It is hard to design and build and sell EVs profitably, as Ford continues to demonstrate. And they're not the only one. Almost nobody has figured out how to make a profit selling EVs. Tesla has, and the list gets real short after that. Ford's electric vehicle division lost $1.38 billion in Q4 2024 alone. Not for the year 2024, just in Q4, the EV division alone lost $1.38 billion, and EV revenue was down 35% year over year. The company just reported its EV unit had negative EBIT margin, earnings before interest and taxes, of negative 98.1%. Ford's total electric vehicle division losses were $5.1 billion 2024. So yeah. What do the two of these combined tell you? They say it costs Ford about $37,000 to make a vehicle, and their cost is about double that. That's how you could lose $37,000 per vehicle, is if your cost to make them. Well, hold on. Let me revise what I've just said, because I think I said it wrong. Ford's cost is double what they sell the thing for. That's what it is. In order for you to lose $37,000 on a vehicle you sell for $37,000, your cost needs to be $74,000. So it costs them $74,000 to build each of these. That's the only way you can get to a negative 98.1%. I'm using round numbers and I'm rounding this off to 100% loss. If they were breaking even on it, if the costs were the same, then this number would be 0, but it's not. It's negative 98.1%. That is bad news, but it's the same as it was in the prior quarter and the quarter before that, and it was even worse than that in Q1, and it was not meaningful, is what N/M says. It means one of these numbers was negative, and so it makes for a nonsense number, or the number was just so low that they're not going to tell you what percentage the math worked out to. All right, hastily beating a retreat from that post that I messed up so badly to this one from Hunter Allen at Hunter Allen, who replied to Ryan Tanaka 3, who had asked the Tesla community for links to 3 specific Elon Musk interviews, the ones with Jordan Peterson, Don Lemon, and the BBC. And Hunter Allen was very quick on the draw. I was going to come back and drop the link to one of these, and I saw that he had already found all 3. So good work by Hunter Allen, whoever Hunter Allen is. I've never seen that account before, but quick work. This post is not new. It's from February 28th of 2024, almost a year ago. Elon Musk tweeted as a standalone post, "Put never went to therapy on my gravestone." I recently retweeted that to go along with a meme that I posted. It was this meme. Some men will literally save U.S. taxpayers millions of dollars per day instead of going to therapy. So some memes are just words. They're not an image. And this is one of those, with a repost of the daily DOGE update. They are telling you how much money they save taxpayers every day by eliminating fraud and waste and abuse and criminal activity. Here's one from Tesla Chan. "I love Tom Zhu very much. His dedication to Tesla is incredible. He played a big role in growing Tesla China to its largest scale. Tom is a future helper. The future is better because of Tom Zhu and the rest of the Tesla team working to build factories in record time and to make great products and to drive down costs. All of those we can thank Tom Zhu for helping with." Here's one from Joe Tegmeyer. "New Model Y is driving around Giga Texas. The rear light bar really stands out." Yeah, there you go. That's your newly refreshed Tesla Model Y already driving around the factory in Austin where Tesla has its headquarters. So shouldn't be long before. I know exactly where that is, actually. I got my bearings because there's a security booth in only one spot that I remember. They did a pretty good job making everybody funnel through one security booth. Here's a funny one from Holmar's catalog. Needs more LiDARs. Oh, the potholes. Like, clearly the city needs to fix that pothole because that's a danger to all traffic that might decide to cut through there. But the point is, that truck with the yellow flashing light on was there to stop people from driving through that pothole. And then the Waymo did anyway. So that's LiDAR for you. Needs more LiDARs. Here's one from Roland Percher that I liked. A lot of people are worried about Tesla sales in January, especially in Europe, but almost every country is affected. As I have already explained, there are several reasons Model 3 is manufactured in Europe, but imported from China. So they do a final assembly in the Netherlands, I think, when the ships arrive from China, where they do, I don't know, they stick the badges on or something. There's some finishing touches that go on Model 3s that allow them to legally say they were manufactured in Europe, but they import them from China. It's the same Model 3s that China has with just some finishing touches put on in Europe, is my understanding. Correct me in the comments below if you know better than I do. The export in China happens at the beginning of the quarter, and the ship takes about 4 weeks to arrive and another week to get to the delivery hubs. Right now, Tesla is selling inventory. The Model Y is in transition to the new version. This affects production, but also puts some buyers on hold. For example, right now, you can order only the exclusive launch edition of Juniper. Let's take a look at the data in Norway, where I have daily data for each model. These are the Model 3 sales year to date compared to last year, and you can see that they are doing better than last year. I guess there was more inventory than last year in Norway, but not everywhere. Inventory levels were low overall when Tesla reported them. And I think in the 10K you can even see inventory by major area. I know you can see revenue by China versus US versus all other, which isn't exactly Europe, but I mean, that's the big one. I'm not too concerned about this. A lot of folks are hair on fire, screaming the sky is falling because sales are down in January. Folks, that happens every year. Every year, Q1 is Tesla's worst quarter due to seasonality and a bunch of other stuff. And this year, the complicating factor is Model Y switching over to that newly refreshed version at all the factories at the same time, which I guess is good, so as not to have a lot of the old ones that are hard to get rid of for being famously the old version of Model Y. If you can get everybody to flip over to the new one at the same time, but logistically, you just aren't going to sell as many while you're trying to ramp up 3 or 4 factories that make Model Y at the same time. So expect Q1 to be the worst quarter this year. That's my expectation due to this Model Y refresh that I'm going to need to go put into my forecast appropriately. If I haven't already, I'll check it and see. But good common sense post there from Roland Percher, letting folks know, don't panic. Always good advice. Here's one from Viv at Battle Angel Viv. Unfortunately for me, my nervous system can't tell the difference between a Teams meeting and being chased by a bear in the woods. It's just a funny post to put down, especially if you know Viv. Viv's kind of a nervous energy person in the first place. Here's one from the Kobasi letter. Elon Musk now runs Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, Grok, X, the Boring Company, DOGE, now reducing the U.S. deficit by $1 billion per day, and all the other honorifics he has mentioned in parenthetical remarks next to each of these. How is this even physically possible? And there was a reply from Bill Ackman saying, you forgot Neuralink. And then I replied to Bill Ackman saying, like most children, Elon was told he could be anything anything he wanted when he grew up. A rocket scientist, a brain surgeon, an inventor, a race car designer, or even a great political figure or a protector of free speech. Unlike most children, Elon Musk made it a checklist. I was so happy with that reply, I retweeted it myself so people would see it. In its context. All right. In or out of context. And I gave Bill a like for reminding the Kobasi letter about Neuralink, which a lot of folks forget. Here's one from John Krause, the International Space Station, home to 7 humans living and working in space. Crosses in front of the 56.9% illuminated moon at 5:25 p.m. Eastern today, as seen from South Florida. And if you load this in 4K, which I can't do for you here, that's the space station right there. And the space station is more than 100 times closer to the lens of this camera than the moon is. The moon's a long ways off. A lot farther away than the space station, which is in orbit. Here's one from Andrew McCarthy that I liked. Here's highlights of what I was able to capture with my cameras and telescopes in 2024. An eclipse, aurora, rockets, and so many deep sky objects. It was quite a year, but I have even more planned for 2025. I'm just getting started. So I like when there's a lot of cool stuff all compressed together in a snazzily edited video like this. So you get a bunch of cool stuff for your time investment. And seems like a cool job, photojournalist for space. So good stuff there from Andrew McCarthy, who I hadn't seen much prior to that post. Here's one from Futurazo Brian White. You're going to see lots and lots of his posts that I liked this week because after he interviewed me, I was looking around for the videos that he posted so that I could post them from my channel. And while I was looking around for them, I kept bumping into so many great posts that I normally don't see in my regular feed from Futuraza. Follow Futuraza if you're not already. I'm sure most of you already are, having seen the gems he contributes on a weekly basis. There are only so many things this could mean. I know which way my guess is leaning. Retweeting Sawyer Merritt saying, Ford CEO Jim Farley said yesterday that the company is getting closer to deciding on whether to partner with another company on full self-driving. We're not so Pollyannish about our own capability that we're not going to look at other people's system or not believe that level 4 personal autonomy is going to be interesting at some point. We need a strong strategy team to decide, do we partner? I'm very confident in Sammy and Doug and their technical prowess. They know the FSD system. They know what's out there. They know the Waymo system. As they get democratized for level 4, individual level 4. And so I think we'll make a good decision, but I think, Adam, we're a lot closer to that partnering decision at Ford. The first system he mentioned was FSD, which is Tesla FSD. Nobody else has an FSD program that I'm aware of except Tesla. They all call it something else. Everybody else does. So Sawyer and Brian and I all suspect he's talking about partnering with Tesla to get access to license Tesla's hardware and software, I would imagine, is what they're going to need to start putting in their vehicles in whatever future year they can figure out how to get them on board. Maybe all of those will be hardware 5. Well, it would be hard to imagine them doing anything less than hardware 5 on them, right? Here's another one from Brian. That's going to be a common refrain here. Had the craziest FSD win today. Big messy intersection and the lights weren't cycling but flashing red, which makes it a 4-way stop during such malfunctions. If you didn't know that, in the US, that's the law. If the traffic light doesn't work, it's a 4-way stop. Everybody has to stop before they can proceed. Intersection doesn't even look like this anymore. It's way more complicated with way more lanes. Car waited its turn, went at the correct time. Someone else went out of turn, and it paused to duck behind them exactly like I would have. Wow, wow, wow. Tesla has been training its cars to navigate such complex situations the same way they've been trained that human drivers do when they encounter those situations. That's what Tesla's advantage is. It's the real-world miles that make Tesla's neural net smarter, because Tesla's neural net has seen more real-world examples of crazy stuff that it learned from. Here's one from Hallmark's catalog. I'm worried that Elon Musk, net worth $400 billion, will steal my social security number from the treasury so he can apply for a credit card under my name, credit score 587, and use the credit card to fund Tesla, market cap $1.2 trillion, using my personal credit limit $600. Yeah. Good stuff from Hallmark's catalog. 24,000 likes on that one. Elon must have reacted to it in a way that people could see. Here's one from AJ. That's at Alojo. Wow, X's financial performance has vastly improved. This data is based on a recent Elon post. Elon really knows how to turn around and run a business despite the revenue hit from the anti-X campaign. Elon's measures vastly improved cash flow. EBITDA is a proxy for cash flow. So I've never made a chart about X because there's never been any numbers for me to chart for X. And before I had a chance to, AJ had already done it. So here you go. These are the only numbers we have for X because they're the only ones Elon gave us. And even though revenue, top line revenue, is down from 5 billion to 2.7 billion from 2021 to 2024, EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, is up, and stock compensation, but that one doesn't get into the acronym for whatever reason. The EBITDA is up from 682 million back when the revenue was 5 billion to 1.25 billion on only 2.7 billion worth of top line revenue. That's nutty. That is a lot. That is a 46% EBITDA margin. That is extremely healthy, friends. Like maybe it's not for websites where the costs are going to be a lot lower than if you sell physical goods that need to be purchased and shipped and delivered. Like software margins are famously really high. But I kind of feel like Elon ought to be paying creators more with a 46% EBITDA margin, even on about half as much revenue as X used to be making back in 2021. So he's got a cash generating company on his hands. Now, it's going to take him a long time to recover the $44 billion he spent on it. This is not that attractive a payback rate. If you spent $44 billion on something, you would hope to be making more than $1.25 billion per year on it, because at the end of 7 years, that'll only be $10 billion. So you don't want your payback period to be longer than 10 years when you buy a software company. But if Elon can figure out how to lift the advertising embargoes against X from companies around the world, it'll go right back to that 5 billion or maybe past it if X's traffic is a lot higher now, and if the best and most monetizable kinds of eyeballs are on X and not on other platforms. Advertisers ought to want their money to be invested wisely, putting their messaging in front of people who have money to buy their stuff, right? So there's hope that X will make $44 billion for Elon Musk in the next 7 years. Here's one from Tesla Chan. Huawei has now followed Tesla in the way self-driving works. Check it out. This all looks exactly like what you get in a Tesla. Like, if you told me that they had started with a Tesla Model S and then ripped a bunch of stuff out and then put their stuff in that they were working on in their R&D lab, I'd believe you. That's extremely similar to the experience you get in a Tesla. You click down on the stalk, and then when it's clear to go, your car will go and get on the right side of this line, painted line on the road, and steer kind of the same way. So everything about that looks like Huawei has ripped off Tesla's approach rather than trying their own. Here's one from Viv. Yay, finally found one in the Netherlands. It is a Hot Wheel, a Cybertruck Hot Wheel. That's not one of the Hot Wheels I have. Let me switch to my intro screen so you can see my backdrop behind me. I've got this Hot Wheel. So there's one of my Hot Wheels. That's a SpaceX Model X. That looks pretty cool. Well, it says Tesla on the side of it. Maybe I was thinking I had a NASA one, but I have a Cybertruck. Viv probably doesn't have. This is the wind-up Cybertruck. It just came in this week. So it's hard to get tight focus on that Cybertruck, but kind of a big one. This is bigger than Hot Wheels size, and even down to the details. Bless me. I don't know if you can make it out, but they did put little teeny stickers on each of these windows here that are smashed. Just like the one that Elon brought out on stage. On the other side, they're regular windows because those aren't the ones Franz threw a steel ball at. So, very cool. I haven't even given this thing a turn, but Loki is now very interested. He is up from his slumber to check out this little Cybertruck. Oh, he licked the Cybertruck. It's not food, baby. It's not food. Okay. Let's go back to the show. Back to the share desktop. Oh, no, you missed out on the... Well, you didn't miss out. You saw Loki in the Loki cam here. Being a good boy, being up from his nap. Let's make sure we keep his whole head in the shot instead of cutting his ears off. For the rest of the way, what else do we have here? Oh, it's a post from Elon Musk on February 6th. When you're finding fraud and somebody yells stop, that's who's doing the fraud. With the John Krasinski from The Office meme template, just explaining simple concepts is the idea behind this meme. And check out the watermark here. That is my watermark. I made this meme that has been seen 37 million times and liked 553,000 times. Memes grow legs and walk away, which is the reason for the watermark. Maybe I picked up a few followers. Dylan Loomis saw it right away and tagged me so I wouldn't miss that Elon had lifted my meme, tagging me with the assist. LOL. Yeah, so somebody else, I forget who, maybe we'll see before the end of the video, had reposted my meme, and maybe that's where Elon found it, and maybe he didn't even see the watermark to know that it was mine. Sometimes he will repost me. You know that if you've been watching this program for very long, that I am very fortunate to have received a number of likes. Oh boy, I gave a hand signal to my camera now, accidentally, so I have to do that again and get myself lined back up again, right? I've been very fortunate to receive a lot of interaction on X from Elon, even back in the Twitter days. He was replying to me, liking my stuff, retweeting me sometimes. So the next post that I liked came from Ihor Dusanowski. At Ihor S3 is how you read this X handle here, and you can see S3 is his badge. S3 Partners is his company. They have proprietary software that pulls in data from financial markets and figures out how much short selling activity there is on every name traded in stock markets that can be shorted. And sometimes he sends out informative posts about them on X. This one said, "Shorts keep shorting. Hashtag Tesla, the third largest short in the world. After hashtag Nvidia and hashtag Apple with 28.22 billion of short interest, 2.66% short interest as a percent of float being all of the shares that have been issued, the basic shares, not the diluted shares, which are shares that have vested to be exercised by people who can buy stock options, but they haven't bought them yet." We've seen 8.5 million shares shorted over the last 30 days, worth $3.23 billion, a plus 13% increase in total shares shorted. As its stock price dipped 8%, shorts are up $1.9 billion in year-to-date mark-to-market profits so far. Plus 6.9% for the year. Expect short selling to continue until hashtag Tesla finds an intermediate floor, possibly around the $350 level, tagging S3 Partners and Elon Musk. As we record, Tesla stock is at 357. So maybe Ihor was right about where the bottom is short term for Tesla stock, as I put my Tesla stock ticker back in its spot. What else do we have here? Let's scroll on down, I guess, to find These are still my likes. January 31st. These are old. Let me pause this while I find my place. And we're back. Somehow I made it very, very far down my list of likes. The next post that I liked came from Holmar's catalog. I've never seen anything like this in markets before. A major disruption is coming, and people have no idea. Few people have realized Tesla has, by far, the most advanced self-driving system in the world, which is giving them a huge leg up in robotics. True, if you have cars that know how to navigate themselves around roadways in traffic and in crazy situations and know how to identify who's a person and who's a vehicle, etc., you got a giant head start on trying to teach a humanoid robot how to navigate places where people walk. Because roads are one of the places where people walk. People do cross roads, right? And a lot of the same things you need to know to navigate as a person are the things you need to know to navigate as a car, right? So a great point being made here by Omar. And don't be fooled by Waymo offering driverless rides already. Their solution won't work. I've talked about that before. They don't have a scalable solution, and Tesla does have a scalable solution that they can continue making much smarter and much safer all the time as time goes by. And people like Ford and others are going to want to license it, and that's going to be very profitable for Tesla. Here's one from Jeff Lutz. Yes, I received some of that this morning. That's why propagandists do flood the zone. That's what propagandists do, flood the zone, then shut down anything considered debate. What are we talking about here? Oh, it's Anna Kamsa. So Anna Kamsa decided to send out this. Tesla boycott is gaining momentum in Europe. All right, settle down. Based on 1 month worth of data. And we've seen the haters, the short sellers and the trolls and everybody else for many, many years now cite 1 month worth of one market data as the sign that Tesla is doomed. The growth story is over. There's a demand cliff, and it's here already. The demand cliff is already here, and you can look at this 1 month for this one country where it's down 95% versus the prior year and know that nobody wants to buy a Tesla anymore. Anybody who wants one already has one. That's what they've been saying for years. I replied, before we declare Tesla dead in Europe, perhaps we should check how the other automakers' EV sales are going there. What's this? It's a chart from eu-evs.com. I left their banner at the top, but still, a lot of folks didn't know where I got this chart from. I'm surprised this website isn't more famous with more folks because it's been providing reliable information at a very detailed level for a very long time. These are useful charts if you want to know how sales are going in Europe in terms of number of units sold, either by company or by car brand or by country that they were sold in, or by month or quarter or year. They've got all those breakdowns on different kinds of charts you can see on their website. Which one did I choose? I chose the one that shows you since 2017 which brand of EVs has been the best selling every year. Well, it was Tesla in 2017 and 2018 and 2019 and 2022 and 2023 and 2024. That's who that was the number one selling brand of EVs in Europe. VW managed to pass Tesla in 2020 and in 2021. Narrowly, like both of these were by a little bit. And Tesla has been mopping the floor with the competition ever since. What's this dive about on the 2025? Well, it's because there's only 1 month worth of data so far in the system. Only January data is available. And you shouldn't think that because Tesla had a bad month, they're going to have a bad year. because that seems unlikely given the trend here, right? What's the general trend? Well, for Tesla and for VW, the general trend is up. Now, most everybody was down from 2023 to 2024. The whole EV market was lower in 2024 than it was in 2023. Nobody did a lot better. BMW didn't even do as well as this chart makes it look because the chart has curvy lines on it. So this high point here doesn't exist. BMW didn't ever have a month where they were selling that many. This is not on a trailing 12-month basis. These are just dots connected with spaghetti lines that somebody likes. But yeah, that high point didn't happen. It just went from here in a straight line to this dot. And then we don't know what the future holds for 2025 yet, which is why all of these seem to have fallen by 11/12. It's because these data points are just reflecting 1 month worth of data, and all the rest of these are reflecting 12 months worth of data. Okay. So how did Anna Kamsa react to my post? Well, first we'll see. Sergi Salas said, "Who cares about the truth, James? Elon bad." I replied with the Angry Bert, Rocket Man bad. They're all down by 11/12. Here's Brian. You guys don't get it. Tesla's doing so bad, people won't buy any car. We also need to look at the collapse in China, where Tesla forced Chinese New Year to take place in January instead of February, which is a big national holiday. Like, you have to pay your workers double time in China if you make them work through the Chinese New Year holiday. That's a big, big deal in that country, as other holidays are, when you need to shut down your factory because it's cost prohibitive to try to manufacture cars over those holidays when the labor laws require you to pay extra. LOL Anna got politely corrected and went off the handle, is how the rest of that post should have been written. You can pause this and read through it. Here's Anna. Your post remind me of Zelensky's comment on Carlson and Putin. Yeah, so keep doing what you have to do. Yeah, so that was her contribution. I'll let you pause that and read it if you want to. So I had to post it so anybody would be able to see it. She hid my reply. Nobody would have been able to see it if I hadn't retweeted it myself and others hadn't been able to retweet it. If you'd like to be crudely insulted and then immediately blocked by Anna Kamsa, try replying politely to her misleading post with accurate contextual information, as I did, because that's what happened to me. And Jeff Lutz said, yes, I received some of that this morning. That's what propagandists do, flood the zone, then shut down anything considered debate. Let's just end the debate, is what the side losing the debate says. When they're losing the debate, people say, let's end the debate. All right, that's enough on that topic. Here's one from Selena. Tesla drove out like a knife through butter. So Selena is enjoying the brisk winters in Sault Ste. Marie, Canada. I probably mispronounced that, where she lives, in her white Tesla, which is camouflaged to blend in with the snow. Happy to hear it came out like a knife through butter. Although those electric motors, they are strong. You can get yourself in trouble with an electric motor. They have a lot of torque in a big hurry. Here's one from Isaac Yaps. Took delivery of my first Tesla. I don't know who Isaac Yaps is, but he seems happy with his new Tesla. And it's a black Tesla Model 3, which was my first Tesla. My only Tesla. I still have my 2018 black Tesla Model 3. I named mine Thanks Elon. I'll give you 3 guesses as to why I named my car Thanks Elon. And I managed to score 2 of those Thanks Elon license tags. One of them is still on my car. The other one's on the shelf behind me because I let it lapse accidentally over COVID. We went back in to get our star IDs, and They checked the license tag for me, and it was available to anybody who wanted it. I, I had missed the letter they mailed to my house that said you need to renew your plate. So anybody could have had it, and I had to buy it again, and they sent me a whole other plate, even though I already had one. So I had to put the new one on the car, and I put the old one on the shelf behind me. And it's been there for every video I've made, even going back to my first failed attempt at making Tesla videos in 2018 because I didn't have the car yet. I was making videos about Tesla before I had a Tesla in July of 2018, I think. So I had no car to put the tag on back then. I had already secured that personalized plate to make sure nobody else could get it. Here's one from Yashu Sharma retweeting that same thing from Sawyer that we saw Brian retweet. It's hilarious to me that the CEO of Ford says he's less bullish on Blue's Cruise than Jerry Riggs, who was paid to shill it. So I had to reply with my freeze frame image from Jerry Rig Everything, Zach Nelson's video where he was sponsored by Ford, and he's got the Ford Mustang Mach-E over his shoulder and the mountains behind him. And he's holding up a 5-fingered hand, which I think I've punned somehow before. And then I put context for those unfamiliar with said loser. So feel free to find this post or just search YouTube for Jerry Rig Everything, Hayden Hard on FSD, and you'll find my video where I called him out for publicly bashing FSD as being badly named. The nerve of the guy who named himself Jerry Rig Everything, calling out FSD as false advertising because it doesn't literally do what it says. Well, you're not Jerry, and you don't literally rig everything, so you have very little room to talk, Zach Nelson. If that's his name. I think I'm remembering his name right. Here's one from Elon laughing at Chad Pergram. Tonight on Jeopardy, the category is famous tweets and who wrote them. The question is, who is Elon Musk? Saying, I rewatched Office Space tonight for the 5th time to prepare for DOGE. So, what is it you say, you would say you do here exactly? Is the conversation Elon is figuratively having with useless DC bureaucrats. Here's another one from Brian, creeping up on straight 6s on my subscriber count. Not as big as some, but enough to keep me moving forward, and I'm grateful to every one of you. Well, I'm happy to report Brian is above 66,700 subscribers now. I know that because I asked people to follow him when I retweeted the interview he did with me, and then I checked it later, and it was up. Here's one from WikiLeaks, USAID. Those may be unrelated. Maybe I didn't get him a single subscriber, but his subscriber count did go up as a result of making good content. If you're subscribed to me, you should definitely be subscribed to Brian's channel, Futuraza. He's putting out a lot more videos per week than I am. And they're really good content, really topical, current events for Tesla. Stuff you want to know is what he's talking about. Here's one from USAID. Here's one from WikiLeaks talking about USAID and how they have pushed nearly $500 million through a secretive U.S. government-financed NGO Internews network, which has worked with 4,291 media outlets, producing in 1 year 4,800 hours of broadcasts reaching up to 778 million people and training over 9,000 journalists. IN has also supported social media censorship initiatives. So if you're looking for the fraud in USAID and somebody says, there's no fraud, nobody has proven any fraud, well, they don't know enough about the facts. USAID has been supporting Internews Network, which is a front with a bunch of progressive liberal cronies on the board, politicians and others, who have been funneling money to indoctrination of journalists worldwide and to trying to censor any free speech platform. If you're not censoring views from conservatives, you don't get advertising revenue. They're trying to choke out any conservative social media or any free speech social media. These are the folks who were leaning hard against Facebook and other social media platforms, getting them to censor views that they didn't like, stuff that opposed the progressive liberal agenda. They were getting censored off social media successfully by applying pressure like this, the advertising boycott pressure. The operation claims offices in over 30 countries, headed up by Jean Bourgault, who pays herself $451,000 a year. She worked out of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow during the early 1990s, where she was in charge of a $250 million budget, and in other revolts or conflicts at critical times before formally rotating out of 6 years at USAID to IN, Internews. So I'll let you pause and read through all the rest of this. Incriminating stuff. But there's a lot of it here. And the paperwork is all here. Like, this is documented. Some of this is news. There's the aforementioned head of the Internews network. This is their office building. Does it look occupied to you? It looks like a front. Crazy stuff. Here's their executives. You can learn all sorts of interesting things about who those people are. Here's the money flow chart. So where is their money going? It's just one shell activist organization giving money to the next. So if you're USAID, you can easily justify donating money to some cleverly named charity organization that is then passing the money on again, and then the money fully round trips, comes back to the U.S. and goes into somebody's political campaign, who's a progressive politician, or goes into somebody's consultancy that rewarded somebody with a job in a think tank or in a law firm or whatever you want for their previous efforts to advance this agenda. So enough about that, I guess, for now. But you've got eyewitness accounts from folks talking about how the agency has been overtaken by bad actors, and the house needed to be cleaned is the quick summary of what all that I just said. Here's another one from Brian, a whole lot of visual information right here in just 94 seconds from Tesla Chan. Take a look at the welcome signal of the new Model Y. The welcome signal. I've never heard that before applied to a car. But yeah, check it out. There's your new Model Y. And got some fun features in there. Some of these are new. Some of these are not all that new. But you shouldn't change absolutely everything every time. You should keep the stuff that works. That way, you don't lose it. Keep what's great about the vehicle and improve stuff you can improve affordably. So a lot of great information here about the new Model Y. Check out that video if that's of interest to you. Here's another one from Brian. Now that is one heck of a photo. Vienna calling. Yeah, study that. So this is the truck club of Austria, with, I guess, an Austrian license tag on it in some older downtown area, probably in Vienna. We just saw the word Vienna, right? Vienna calling. Here's one from Alexandra Mertz that I liked. Ahem, I wish him well, but I'll take the under. What are we talking about here? Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson said he wants Lucid to be 20% car company, 80% tech supplier. The vision I have for Lucid is just as there's an Intel inside your laptop, there's a Lucid inside a Honda or a Toyota. Really, Peter Rawlinson? People think, oh, why didn't you just be a supplier, Peter? Because we need the cars as a shop window for our product, he said. Lucid also plans to expand the reach of that shop window. It's targeting production of 1 million cars per year by the early 2030s, up from around 9,000 cars per year in 2024. You're not going to make it, Peter Rawlinson. I wish him well, but I'll take the under. Me too, said Sawyer Merritt. Now we have to find someone who wants to take the over. I replied with tumbleweed. You're not going to find anybody besides Peter Rawlinson who thinks Lucid is going to be selling more than 1 million cars per year in 2030 or beyond. That is, they lose so much money. They exist at the good graces of their backers in Saudi Arabia. If it were not for their very deep-pocketed backing in Saudi Arabia, they would have been bankrupt already. They lose a lot of money, and they do it every quarter. Here's another one from Elon. USAID pressured advertisers to boycott any media that was not left-wing. So a lot more information here from Mike Benz if you want to know about USAID. He's been an investigative journalist covering what they're up to for a long time. A lot of the stuff they're doing is stuff that the CIA used to do, but stopped doing because it was easier for USAID to get away with doing it than it was for the CIA to do it themselves. Fascinating stuff if you can watch interviews with Mike Benz about that topic. He'll tell you all about it. Here's another one from Brian. Loki's tireless helper swings by to help out and do smart stuff. We just have fun hanging out, really, with a retweet of me retweeting his video. So we've got a very back and forth promotion of this interview. If you were looking for this video and didn't see it, here it is. He very graciously called me a top analyst, spotting what Tesla's balance sheet may be hiding. Let's see. I replied to him, maybe for one of these videos, we'll plan some content in advance. Nah, it's fun just chatting. We do have fun chatting, and yeah, I guess we both see enough Tesla news and content that even when we don't have a very tightly defined script, we can ad lib our way through in an entertaining way for other Tesla fans, at least. When planning is this good, it doesn't look like there was any prep at all. That doesn't sound right, but I'm still happy with how it came out. All right. Good stuff there. I will look forward to my next interview with Brian. Here's one from the girl with the Mozart tattoo at Phi Beta Kitten. This is Karen Balmer, Mrs. James Dalma, at the Milpitas, California Barber Court Tesla supercharging station, their 1,000th supercharger. That is a lot of superchargers to stop at. I have recharged at one supercharger, the one between Tampa and my house, because the Tesla service center didn't leave me enough juice to get home. So I had to stop and supercharge. Apart from that, I have only ever recharged in my own garage. My 2018 Tesla Model 3. So congratulations on number 1,000. You two crazy kids, if you're listening. I know sometimes you are. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt News. Tesla has delivered about 40 new Megapack batteries worth $38 million to Elon Musk's other company, XAI, to help power its massive 200,000 unit GPU cluster in Memphis, Tennessee. The team says it will take 3 days from delivery to have them operational. I like every part of that. So the Grok supercomputer, which you can access by clicking this button on any device that can access X, is running in this unassuming warehouse building that I'm imagining is near the Memphis International Airport. That seems to be where most warehouses are in the Memphis area, having lived near there at one point. Yeah, only 3 days to have them all up and operational. Basically, You just get them footed into the ground and you get them, waterproofed and plugged in and connected up, and you bring out the utility to certify them for use, and you turn them on. So good stuff there. Here's one from Jay Murphy at J_M_U_R_P_H_Y. Some guy in a VW has drawn a Nazi sign on my Tesla. Oh, the irony. Yeah, if you've never Googled the opening day photos from the Wolfsburg factory in Germany, which is still VW's largest factory and still their factory that produces the most vehicles to this day, you'll never forget seeing it. It's a very memorable image. You can find a few opening day photos from the VW Wolfsburg plant opening ceremonies. Those were in the late 1930s near Berlin, Germany. I'm giving you hints as to what you're going to see. Here's one from CERN Basher at CERN Basher. Tesla brought us the Supercharger, the Megapack, the Gigafactory, and now the Sunflower? I like this. Check out this photo. So you can see what they have done here. If you look closely, there's a pivot here, and they've done the same thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times. So you just stack up 12 of this panel on top of each other, and then you attach a hinge to them, and you can transport them all stacked on top of each other in a very narrow footprint. But then when you get where you're going, you can spin them out. And if you've engineered them correctly, then you just point them normal to the sun at a right angle, or as close to a right angle to the sun, perpendicular as you can get. You can get a lot of solar energy out of it for not a very large footprint. So I like this. This appears to be recharging the Megapack that is in the bed of this truck to give it more juice. So good invention from somebody. Well spotted by CERN Basher. Here's another one from Brian. Zangler is right. This absolutely looks like the future to me. Lots of Tesla Semi activity this morning in Nevada. So good update. What else do we have? Anna Sherman. All right, I'm sorry, but enough is enough. May Musk is being bombarded with hundreds of hateful Nazi comments every day on Instagram. This isn't okay. Elon Musk is not a Nazi. I am Jewish, have worked with May, and spent time with the Musk family for 5 years. I can say with absolute certainty that I have never encountered more kind, humble, supportive, and caring people. If you watch the video from the inauguration, do you really believe Elon's intention was to make a Nazi salute? Do you truly think that? If you do, you've lost your mind. People are grasping at anything just to fuel their hatred. This is bullying, aggressive bullying. What makes you feel better when you spread hostility and unrelenting hate? May supported me and my family through a horrific war. Elon is always focused on saving lives and creating a better future. This hatred and aggression must stop. Here's what Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said. Elon is a great friend of Israel. He visited Israel after the October 7th massacre, in which Hamas terrorists committed the worst atrocity against the Jewish people since the Holocaust. He has since repeatedly and forcefully supported Israel's right to defend itself against genocidal terrorists and regimes who seek to annihilate the one and only Jewish state. What more proof and confirmation do you need? What have you done for Israel and for the Jewish community? So 15,000 likes and counting on that. And a reply here from Jose. Thank you so much for saying this. I'm also Jewish, and I'm shocked by all the Nazi references by people who gave their backs to us when we needed it. Elon is the only non-Jewish public figure who gave us his full support. Part of the reason why I will always defend him too. And some kind words here from Jonna Kreider, which is usually what you get from Jonna Kreider. She's pretty great. I would say in the Tesla community, she was the first account I can remember Elon following who wasn't a Tesla employee. Good post there. What else do we have this week? Here's another one from Sir and Basher. Truck owners, answer me this. For those people who think that a truck should look something like the red truck below, why don't they live in houses that look like this? And to the people who don't like the shape of the Cybertruck, do you not like the shape of your house? So here's what the house looks like that looks like the truck. Here's what the house looks like that looks like the Cybertruck. You see the difference between these? You see how this one looks like a normal house that you would like to live in, and this one looks like a dumb playground that you would not want to live in? Well, that's how they design trucks. Normal looking trucks. All right, back we go. To the last post that I liked this week from Sarge Enzyme at Sarge Enzyme. Super duper heavy. If you're having thrust problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 Raptors, so my thrust ain't one. That's funny stuff. This is the origin of this meme. It came from this account. That's what you would get if you stacked up 3 super heavy boosters, the kind, each one of which can launch a starship into orbit, and then you put a starship on top. It would go for a long time before a long way before you would have to fire up the engines. You would need all of the propellant on board to stop it, I think, if you used 3 starship boosters to get it out of orbit, and they expelled all of their propellant doing so. You'd really be moving at a fast clip at that point. And that's it. That's my video for this week. So with that, we will check back in with Loki, who came over here for a moment to say hi, but is back in his bed now. Before, I thank you for watching this week's video. I appreciate all of you, my subscribers. You are what make this channel possible. I appreciate your support, especially my executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and RebellionAir.com, and I'll see you in the next one.